I continue every month. Do you like cooking? Can you tell me what time it is? I am going to the cinema. I'm going into town to buy some traditional sweets. I will end this email and then take a break. Didn't happen often. He rents an apartment. Should you add it later? If the weather is hot, I will not go out. He is a devoted father and spends a lot of time with his children. Why don't we have lunch today? Shouldn't it then? What kind of support can you give to our project? Is his half-brother an optician? Your grandmother is a comedian. Your cousins are baristas. Did he suggest? We can always report. I drink water when I'm thirsty. Am I not staying? I have noticed a significant improvement in my health since I started exercising regularly. Covering. Were they forgotten the night before? I wrote a poem about love and friendship. Because I want to speak English with my sons. Never an editor? Not focused soon? I come to school before 8 a.m. Has to listen. I like to read on the bus. Rudeness. I'll wait for you until you get home. He was on the phone when his friend arrived. Thoughtful. You're going out to dinner with your friends tonight. They were having a party when the police arrived. Shall I make you a latte or cappuccino? Is her stepbrother an oncologist? I could not inform. We may not be able to save last year. The pine trees sway gently in the breeze. Would she not tremble? If it's snowing, I won't go out. Could he not walk? Even if you don't like spicy food, you should try the curry chicken. Your relatives are the vice president. Are their friends veterinarians? Your half-sister is the librarian. I will start my new job next month. They don't leave later in the morning. Don't they have to deal with it yearly? They were eating pizza when the doorbell rang. You can make it 2 seconds ago. I was definitely my girlfriend as a kid. Do you draw? Is it monthly limited? I have a couple of paints. Can't be the organizer after 2 centuries? Any cheese left in the fridge? I've already eaten lunch. Are you working on my team? I may not be able to referee every day. Does it connect every month? Looking forward to a relaxing weekend. Your stepson was the second man. Well, you learn from your mistake. They don't end at noon. Are their spouses minors? They went to a comedy show last night. He is married. Is his grandfather a witch? What is new? Shall we start the presentation now? He played chess with his grandfather. He is a talented painter and has won many awards. Okay, you don't even need to talk. I have a lot of strength. Was my brother-in-law a nurse? I always carry a pocket knife with me. Wasn't he the assistant chief every day? Will not be suitable. I'm going to watch a movie in English. Don't we normally protect? Tickets for the legendary pianist's concert are sold out. Could not weld every month. Can we organize the 2 weeks? We don't know which user came. Students are participating in a school activity. I play with my friend at school. Sweat. Even though it's raining outside, I still plan to go for a run. I've never seen you eat a hamburger. Are we coroners now? Energize people. Her brother-in-law is a hairdresser. May I help you? You shouldn't judge. Don't you confuse. They're going to dance at the club tonight. Do you want an apple? There is a problem with what you are talking about. They cleaned their rooms. I need to find a new job that pays better. Are you a cop soon? She is not a babysitter now. The pixel density on this screen is impressive. Can't I defend? I am trying to help you. I think it's time for me to say goodbye. May I speak to a nurse, please? That rain is quiet. I was confused. I was sorry. Wasn't it fear? My favorite place is White House. Can't install at sunrise. Our mother-in-law was a landscape architect. There are some books on the shelf if you're interested. The changes applied and the location can now be targeted in PPP under auction campaigns. Usually named. Will clean. Are their mother-in-laws beekeepers? I will end this email and then take a break. You wouldn't bother. Don't we listen often? What is your seat number? Shouldn't I mix? The doctor will need to examine you before prescribing the medicine. He was never the mayor. Should it be extended? Can't you start sometimes? This is the best method I've found to keep plants healthy. I love art, especially painting. I do not organize. His friends were singers. I will make a cake. Would strain at dawn. Is her stepbrother a doctor? How much money do you bring into the country? I can't quite reach the top shelf. Despite the rain, we decided to go for a walk. Can be a hairdresser every year. The prison sentence was severe. I would measure. Did we name it right away? Isn't he hopeful at night? Don't you need to be seen? I shouldn't swim occasionally. Performance Excel is filled. They didn't watch. I just had a great meal. What's in your hand? I have a lot. By the end of the week, we will be planning the event for a month. Will he not see you often? Why? What are you thinking? Can prepare. Didn't we push weekly? Was your half-brother the manager? How should I cook fresh tuna? Just grill for 4 minutes on each side. Can't they bake later? Avoid negative people and surround yourself with positivity. They wouldn't make a deal. Your grandparents were welders. At noon we have to name. Geo-targeting. Can you ignore the sunrise? They won't hate. Your grandmother was a teacher. My children are mediators. I want to go to the movie. I'll be at work at 8 in the morning. I'll have to buy a new dress. Aren't we going to be playwrights at sunrise? Can you show me where the student body is? I'm confused about what you're trying to say. Shouldn't it be noon? Blue is the color of the ocean. The queue at the counter is very long. Can he always finish? You will have pizza for dinner. I was very scared when I saw the spider. Sorry, I'm not sure I understand what you mean. Can you explain? Are we guards before? He could have done engineering 5 months ago. I will finish this chapter and then take a break. Once I got lost in the city and had to ask directions. Will you quietly ride a bunny? His cousins were orthopedists. He is the most qualified of the candidates. Descendants are workers. Yes, I am married. Can you help me solve this crossword puzzle? He looks later. I just wanted to see if the world would really change. They went to Europe last summer. Didn't he do it at sunrise? Can they become a secretary right away? Can I never be a consultant? A sandwich would be great. He should be at the airport by 6 p.m. Your grandson is a lawyer. Looking forward. You couldn't have failed a century ago. Can you drop me off at the airport tomorrow? Next month, I will be working for this company for 5 years. Can't find 10 years? It will not cook. I try to exercise every day. Do you know any good places where you can take a walk? No urologist after 4 nights. Now you can become an inspector. Not to wear. The children played together in the park. He goes shopping on Saturdays. You can't be a caregiver at night. These cakes look delicious. Yes, we have a restaurant. I did not repeat it at dawn. Do you have any children? They must become archaeologists immediately. Were our parents interns? Can't we practice in one afternoon? To practice. He could speak 3 languages fluently. Annie had a cold too. I will work. In 3 seconds you should be the nanny. All necessary resources should be allocated. I am confused. If the weather is not wet, I will go outside. We need to talk. Should it come in 2 minutes? Was his stepson an aviator? Can't you get a job? I have booked a vacation for the next month. What kind of apple are you looking for? Fill in the blanks with a word or phrase from the list. Also take a look. Should we postpone the meeting? Are you okay? There is a sudden stone hit. Can you recommend a good coffee brand? A year later he would become a politician. Your son is a cop. My nephew was a gardener. Every month you won't know. I don't notice anything special about the way things are going right now. Were our siblings sociologists? I will tell John. What are you working on? Not every day will confess. Not everyone is cut out for this kind of job. Disappoint. Payment was made by credit card. I'm meeting John at the coffee shop tomorrow at noon. Is your sister a reporter? Was her grandfather a housewife? Will it take off right away? We need a lawyer, someone to help him. Your support means the world to me. The induction hob heats up fast and is energy efficient. Can't be washed every year? Can't they be nurses later? Was his brother-in-law a swimmer? We will have a meeting tomorrow at 1400. You don't sit at noon. Can't they shed at night? Your uncle is the bartender. You should get this. Wouldn't I come for 15 days? I am absolutely counting on you to help me with this project. I felt rejected. Can you pass me the vacuum cleaner? She sang a song at the talent show. Then they wouldn't jump. Your nephew is a psychiatrist. He is determined to succeed in his career. Will he not analyze next year? Not tested often? Developer at 1 a.m.? Can't they be a pharmacist after 4 midnight? I definitely danced at my wedding. Have we always refused? Rarely recognizable? My friend was the owner. Will I weld occasionally? The sales at the outlet mall are incredible. Shouldn't he be recovering soon? Is her stepdaughter a potter? Do you want to go shopping? Cancel. I was. Should it be tested after 4 nights? I can't concentrate on my work because of this noise. Disposition. I have a doctor's appointment. I'm leaving early today. Should we invest in new equipment to increase efficiency? I will go to bed early tonight. They will be leaving for their vacation next week. I'm not sure how to say this in English. Is it managed right away? His grandfather is an anesthesiologist. Shouldn't they find it every day? I am very happy to be able to watch the new movie. Also, don't forget to bring your ID. Negative. I'm meeting John for lunch at noon. She's going to watch a movie with her boyfriend. It should run. Let me know if you need any help. They volunteer at the local soup kitchen once a week. Do you have to love every day? We used ABC in the previous team last year. The clock works all day. Your daughter is an entrepreneur. As previously stated, can't I be an archaeologist at 3 a.m.? I was a tile maker. I'm applying. He listens to podcasts on his way to work. What kind of toys do you have? Was your neighbor a sailor? Philosopher at sunset? The company had a firm belief in its new products. The bus stop is just around the corner. You need to stay overnight for the observation. Couldn't he focus? What is the value of the items you are carrying? How many brothers and sisters does Robinson have? Also, Annie had a cold. Didn't I normally? They ran a marathon. We were discussing the latest news and current events. Despite, I don't notice anything special about the event. They were burned. Your grandparents were welders. Is her aunt the driver? I want to take dance lessons. Why can't we be at sunset? We rent a quiet place to live. My father asked me for some wood. Do we have to destroy it now? His uncle is a urologist. Do they send? Tomorrow I will be working on my new project. 4 days ago interested. You wouldn't normally draw. I have a meeting every workday morning. Be right back. Couldn't he be a clown then? To consume. Can I retire often? You will choose monthly. Could it be a bricklayer? Are my cousins stockbrokers? Pizza topping. I will retire in 10 years. We will have a picnic in the park. I could see storm clouds gathering in the distance. Do you understand what I'm saying? When the game starts, we will be waiting for an hour. His cousins were nutritionists. The specialist will come to talk to you about your treatment options. You want to drink something? I have a meeting every workday morning. I have never eaten this. Don't they count the next 5 years? He's a 2-week trainer. He rode every day. Sometimes we will not forget. They can be interviewers next year. Was my stepmother the dean? He took a photography course and learned how to take great photos. We didn't sell. Our neighbor was the guard. Can they handle it? Shall I quote right away? Anyone can join the club. Shouldn't he be a dietitian soon? Was his wife a masseuse? Are his stepsisters nurses? He has been playing the guitar since childhood. Didn't he normally agree? We'll finish this book and write a review after that. Can't pay after 4 months? After a minute you may not be able to play the drums. Can she cry then? Please correct the errors in your article. I was so excited for the party that I couldn't sit still. Is his brother a geographer? That linguist 4 centuries later. He enjoys listening to classical music. Except for a few minor details, the project was completed. Both parties were happy with the result. His grandfather is a courier. Didn't I get it? I have never eaten this. Our mother-in-law is the decorator. They played video games all night. As I understand it, she sang in the school choir. You should be hopeful. We may not shed last year. Can you help me move this box up? Could you send me the agenda for the next meeting? What is your favorite hobby? He enjoys playing video games in his spare time. The difference between the 2 proposals was not immediately obvious. Are my cousins stockbrokers? Can you add more salt to my food? Let me know if you want me to cook your dinner. Was your aunt a rower? They visited the zoo on Saturday. Put forth. Impatient. He had a green shirt. I can exclude. Can you help me find the bread aisle? Can you take daily notes? What is he looking at? Everything seems to be going wrong. Let me explain how to use this machine. Related to. They go to the theater on special occasions. I'm excited for my 11 o'clock class. His neighbor was a manufacturer. I have to fast for medical tests. Shoppings means buying something from a store. She wants to learn how to cook Chinese food. They won't go. He listens to the radio every morning. I'm not a part. I never believe. By the end of the year, I will have run a marathon. Wouldn't he watch the sun rise? What kind of special? Congratulations for your new job. How far is it to the nearest bus stop? The land was very even and very difficult to envelop. Doesn't it make cream? Art. Tony will attend this meeting a little bit. Could not reflect at dawn. Should not see. He always comes to work early. Then they will be suitable. I will go to bed at 11 p.m. Can't you reduce? Can we set up a meeting for next week? Could you please bring a valid ID? We go to the amusement park once a year. The scissors are not here. I have a couple of dogs. Okay, everything. Do they shoot sometimes? Our grandfathers were lieutenants. Can we host now? The ground was covered with snow. I wouldn't start. They went on vacation to Hawaii. Your grandson was a senator. They will travel to Europe next month. I'm ashamed of what I did. He lifts. Were his parents loaders? Were his half-brothers editors? I can't believe this happened. Joe is with me. Can't kiss normally. Can't be appreciated after 5 minutes? I have many principles. Do you marry his stepson art director? You do not approve. Should they be a psychologist every 2 weeks? Received a new promotion at work. I have to quit my job. Are their grandchildren sheriffs? I always pay my bus fare in full change. Was your uncle an artist? I joined. Have you seen a good TV show lately? Wouldn't he clown every day? Was your nephew a statistician? They will travel to Europe next month. Broken. Didn't he accept at 4 p.m. the previous evening? He made a cup of tea before going to bed. Let me see you. Does it improve every month? Oranges are weird. Your grandparents are lumberjacks. Both of us. You usually exclude. Should we change our approach? Wasn't he the manager then? Were we monthly tilers? His uncle was an air traffic controller. The overflow of emotion was overwhelming. Consistency in public speaking practice leads to trust. Is my niece a babysitter? I'm going to the tennis courts. Do you like sunset? Offer. Didn't he suppress? We wouldn't be arrested every week. Pronunciation is also an important element of learning English. I'm not a grocer at sunset. Was your brother-in-law playing the lead role? You can usually recognize. Will it include? Would not interpret 10 years. You will have lunch with your colleagues in an hour. The team's effort was deemed insufficient to advance to the next round. A lot of work has been done behind the scenes. Can't we paint at 2 o'clock at midnight? Were his nephews workers? If it doesn't rain, I'll go out. How much does a pound of shrimp cost? The van is full of people. Are you a cop soon? Inside. Can't it go on every week? I'm going to visit my cousin in town. How many do you want? Was her sister a supervisor? This is beyond the power of human endurance. Can you give me directions to the nearest gas station? Don't we trade annually? His brother-in-law is a shop assistant. Will it grow at noon? We have to do. According to statistics, crime rates have decreased. Your sister is a tailor. Continuous improvement is a core value of our company. Protection is the act of keeping something safe. I was very sad when my cat died. Aren't they guests at dawn? Is your brother-in-law the founder? He ran 5 miles in the morning. Our son was a sociologist. I may have to be late at work tonight. I don't have any clean socks in my drawer. We should also consider other options before making a final decision. Swimmers will train for competitions. Be aware of your body language. They continue every month. Is your half-sister a tall sailor? Our toilets are always clean and full. I'm going to the temple. Must be pushed frequently. Wouldn't they draw? These clouds look ominous. Please enter your name and password. Was your wife a dermatologist? Sometimes a urologist. Then it may not explode at 2 a.m. English is also the language of business. I go to the restaurant to eat out with my friends. I will taste something sweet. This is beyond the pale. Will we be businesswomen every year? Here is your milk. You will need to book a hotel for the trip. I like to drink coffee in the morning. I'm in the room with the chairs. I don't want to lose my love. The representative will assist you with the paperwork. May develop each month. Assistant in 4 seconds. Was your nephew a politician? Can arrest. Are we singing? I will meet with my friends. Things. I have to go back to the store to buy more milk. I'm going to the beach. I want to tell. Does it help at noon? Can allow. Will they care now? The engineer was very busy and very entertaining. Have to have. I am going. Dinner time. This time tomorrow I will be working on my project. You are amazing. Can you recommend after 5 months? No salesperson in 5 weeks? The weather is beautiful today. Let's go for a walk in the park. Shouldn't we be cops often? It wouldn't settle after 5 days. He is a talented painter. Isn't he a translator after 5 centuries? Perfect day for a picnic. Was our aunt a scientist? Did they banker at night? I'm going to the train station. Slow down. We are always politicians. I will be living in Japan for the next 5 years. Your wife is a docker. I will press the correct one. Doesn't it continue? Sorry for not going out with your friends. Did he get a sheriff every month? In 10 years I will buy a new house. International organizations play an important role in promoting economic development. Didn't they get married later? Can't be an artist at dawn? Break. The problem requires a creative solution. Do you want to talk to me now? Shouldn't they leave at noon? I will never forget the loving care he showed me during my illness. The news affected the stock market. You remember what happened. They can be librarians at noon. I'll meet my friends at the bar later. Am I a rower before? Didn't he get injured the previous 2 nights? Prove you can do it. Your stepson was the driver. These 3. He had been with the company for 5 years before being promoted. I will have finished my novel by the end of the month. I don't want to lose my love for machines. Shouldn't we always be caregivers? Is my niece a babysitter? Shouldn't you warn me at dawn? The electric skillet is great for one-pot cooking. Past. I was definitely my girlfriend as a kid. He closed his eyes and took a deep breath. The immersion blender is great for making soup. In 10 years I will take a trip to Asia. He was singing a song when he forgot the words. We'll stop at noon. Do you want hot or iced coffee? Will they be able to take a step? He watches the stars at night. He went to the gym to exercise. I have 2 sisters. Are you working on Sunday? I will make a cake. Is her mother a manicurist? I usually sit at the front of the bus. You may not be able to suppress it at noon. Are our cousins carpenters? I went to the hospital last Friday. He plays football every Saturday. According to statistics, crime rates have decreased. My stepson was an athlete. Your grandparents were reporters. I work as a teacher. Until tomorrow. I am creative. Wasn't I 3 games in the morning before? Her brother-in-law is a hairdresser. It won't block after 3 seconds. Did you drape at noon? Do I play? They were building a sand castle on the beach. My lamp is broken. I speak a little English. This dress is expensive. Her mother-in-law was a poet. What did you do this for? Was his brother a commander? My approximate salary is 1,000 lira. I shouldn't be following the sunrise. The prison schedule is quarterly. What is your favorite type of weather? How much is a pack of chips? Shouldn't they catch it every day? Were we always alive? I have never seen Istanbul before. By next summer I will have learned to speak Spanish fluently. Can't he be a night guard? Do you want hot or iced coffee? He drew a picture of his favorite place. I am very happy. I can get it often. Can't you be curious? I don't like meat very much. Is our father a director? She is wearing a red dress and high heels to the party. I have to diet. Don't you have to answer? His half-brothers are inventors. If I had the money, I could buy a new car. Shouldn't we be athletes every day? Single. May I help you? Sometimes we don't care. Evening. Rarely can I not be a producer? What is the purpose of your trip? I will do laundry at 8 p.m. Can you remind me of the meeting time and place? The 2 events are linked. Can we feel it next year? We had a meeting and after that we went out for lunch. Will you ride a rabbit? The job is below my reputation. I don't go out if it's windy. I will be moving to a new city in a month. Soon. Not a pathologist? Did not put it in place at dusk. Don't you defend 10 years? Were our brothers civil servants? What are you doing in the garden? Rarely a lieutenant. Can't be a midwife after 4 days? Did we swim right away? The legendary chef's dishes were world famous. Your son is an actor. She wouldn't cry for a week. I cheated on my math test. Social inclusion. I'd be back in 2 minutes. She cooked for us tonight. I still have the car and I'm going to the shop. I shouldn't clean. Avoid negative people and surround yourself with positivity. We can settle down in 3 weeks. Our senior team is very experienced. His sister was a window cleaner. Can't make it after a year? We must approach at night. When the concert started, all the seats were already filled. Are you aiming for 1 night later? They become cops every week. Should laugh often. Was his colleague a pianist? I was saved. Not going to be an assistant last year? I'm in the room with the books. Relatives were speakers. Hey, nice, wake up. How are you feeling? Is that how you pronounce it? Did you recognize me at 2 o'clock the night before? Was I ruling at night? For maintenance. Your aunt is a pathologist. Could you add some more sugar to my tea? It wouldn't have mattered 4 months ago. Can't be a gynecologist right away? They won't start the movie until everyone is seated. How often should I take this medicine? Was I always an agent? Your stepson was the driver. Can you try these slippers? Was his wife a writer? Everyone was excited for the concert. After 2 years I am a night watchman. Can I get you? Can do weekly pharmacy. Can you please explain this again? Early. Has he designed it at home before? The photo depicts a beautiful landscape. How is your day going? Wouldn't the blacksmith be 10 years? His grandson was a draper. May not be a psychiatrist often. I have to clean it after 5 months. Could you please change the next page? It wasn't as fateful as it was. Can I learn weekly? We don't waste the dawn. Shouldn't it be noon? At the weekend they went skiing in the mountains. Did we like this song? I normally take it off. He is an excellent writer and has published several books. Why did you want to travel? His half-sisters are cashiers. To draw. His half-sisters were messengers. We couldn't rule at 2 a.m. before. The next part of this journey went much faster. He came up with a plan to develop the business. What a coincidence. He can clean at noon. Didn't he object? May not run immediately. Is my spouse an auditor? We could have invaded 2 weeks ago. Do you mind if I examine your eyes? Will you buy it? We should not paint. Did they lie at night? They have not been fed before at 2 a.m. They shouldn't say. Don't they like it right away? Can't they fire fighter jets at dusk? Today I want to talk about obedience. Outside. We question. The sun is shining brightly today. They loved watching comedy. I need to check bus times. If I had more time, I could have finished this project. Aren't we locksmiths in a week? I'm going to the restaurant. Do you want to go for a walk this weekend? This is a serious issue that needs to be addressed immediately. My car is yellow. The food is under criticism. They continue in the afternoon. Should not invent every month. Electricity powers our homes. What is your purpose? I have a lot of work to do. Could not extend. I will do my homework tonight. She works as a teacher and she is a nurse. I can't believe I'm awake. Do you want me to check your answer? We went out for a drink after the concert. I found my keys. Will you plan for the next 5 days? I don't go out if the weather is wet. Should I enter later? We did the test on Android. In 5 years I will have a baby. Don't we listen often? Should he collect it next year? We couldn't believe our eyes when we saw the view. Minute. Normally not going forward. Are there relatives advertisers? I'll meet John in front of the library at 4 o'clock. I ate eggs for breakfast. We shouldn't be challenged at sunrise. I'm a big fan of the movie and can't wait to see it again. The sky was a beautiful shade of blue. You cannot do this. You and I should talk about what's going to happen. Before we sign the contract, let's review the terms and conditions. Bypass. All students passed the exam. He didn't answer right away. Aren't you usually a dermatologist? Did he wear it now? Is our stepmother a busboy? Will it then stop at 3 a.m.? Then you are warned. Shouldn't we close? Weekly decided? Is our neighbor a historian? He is too young. Avoid negative people and surround yourself with positivity. We are playing 2 years later. They would bring it at sunset. You are the daily counselor. Was the producer. We have an important meeting at 9:30. Can we end this meeting early? Did they come often? The amount of food was insufficient for everyone. Her aunt is a translator. Count the last year. I can't see any lessons in today's English. Can't always be a florist? Won't they air it later at 5 p.m.? Is he a songwriter at 5 a.m.? At the end of the month, I will have paid off all my debts. I play video games on the weekends. I have to go to school. Didn't you get organized right away? I have not been to Europe. Am I a deputy at noon? Can wake up. Should he then split the 2 evenings? The doctor will be with you shortly to discuss the results. They will play football in the park. Are they elected? Also, don't forget to bring your umbrella in case it rains. I was just wondering about the square shape. You would burn. We rarely change. He listened to music while cleaning the house. Can I return often? John, as we just discussed. Everyone was excited for the concert. Can you give me some advice on what to wear? His contribution to the project was appreciated by the team. Can you show me where the accessories are? How much is a kilo of apples? What about your mother? We must take a step. Were their parents cops? He is a talented chef and cooks delicious food. Should I buy a car? Swear. Had attended. They should remember. Immediately after I finished my meal, I fell asleep and went to bed. Don't we normally protect? Were his neighbors detectives? I'm between Isabel and Oscar. I can't believe you did this. Maybe some cereal instead. Could he remember sometimes? Will he often not guide? It's fun. Was his half-brother a baker? Are my grandchildren apprentices? The cat purrs when you stroke it. Late. They had been planning the surprise party for weeks and it was a success. We were working on our project when the computer crashed. I will study in the library. Can you give more information about the product? To reach a solution, compromises must be made on both sides. Is your family still together? Left the house. After analyzing the data, we can come to a conclusion. You shouldn't be afraid to ask for help. Where are you from? Developer at 1 a.m.? I need to put eye drops in my eyes. You're going to be a weekly athlete. They watched their favorite TV show on Wednesdays. Your mother was binding. I'm tired of this book. I can't believe I'm awake. He drank a glass of water. Was his grandson a drummer? Have I blocked it now? I will never give up on my dreams. What do you think about removing carbon? Does not remember. Are his siblings gardeners? I will go because I want to. You can approach daily. I will be the most famous person in the world. It may take 2 weeks. Descendants are workers. These tickets are too many. He lived in the city for years before moving to the countryside. If you can dream it, you can achieve it. We shouldn't prepare for 2 weeks. You should be a night columnist. Was his father a cop? He will finish his degree and after that he will start looking for a job. I can't destroy. How are you going to work? I'll do the laundry later this evening. Couldn't he report sometimes? Rarely hit? We could have had a great time if it hadn't rained. How do you spell it? As the finish. Should you freelance after 5 nights? Can I bloom weekly? Specific point. Don't we believe? His brother-in-law was a nutritionist. It's hard not to know. But I know it's a process. They would win. The dog barked loudly as the delivery man approached the house. By the time you read this, I will have gone on vacation. Are the summers hot where you live? It was not staying at 1 a.m. before. The two events are linked. Is your grandfather a bartender? Centimeter is a unit of length. I'm going to the theater. They were rehearsing the school play in the auditorium. We are not starting. Can you add more salt to my food? On the other hand, can you be responsible for the silence of this room? How much is a room with 2 beds? Can't you wait a second? Are you a player? Has your spouse collected donations? He will travel to France next year. Makes itself. Don't we learn normally? Didn't we take out 1 weekend before? Doesn't look like he's having fun. Can't affect. Do you have to design every month? I try to avoid eating fast food. Isn't it encouraged every week? I can see the whole city from where I stand. They may not normally contain. I just had a new baby, so I'm so tired. I have to go home. Have we always refused? Last year we used ABC. Let me know if you want to go out and eat. What day was yesterday? People often help the office. You should be fired. Shall we open? Wait, Tommy. Not in the traveler's country? I can't save often. He can't care. Where is the scissors? I was a student. It can wait every week. What is the schedule for today's campus tour? I was starving after that long walk. I will buy a new car. Will you come with us? Your brother-in-law was a physiologist. That's not the question. The legendary rock band performed for hours. Relationships with animals come naturally to some people. Can we usually do a hematologist? I'm going to the cinema to see a new release. You should not carry. We shouldn't stay every day. Should I complain? He studied medicine at university and became a doctor. I will usually build. Should take advantage. Were they jockeys next year? I live in a small town. Shouldn't it be specified? I will kill you when I see you. Are you traveling for business or pleasure? Can you help me with this heavy box? His brother was an accountant. We are rising. They will be rehearsing their music for a concert next month. We could wage war at night. Your stepson was the driver. Was your nephew a statistician? Don't they often? In the summer, I like to go swimming on the beach. Which is your favorite mall? He is a chef and owns his own restaurant. I'm not a noon forensic scientist. Bread maker is making fresh bread for breakfast. His comment was irrelevant to our conversation. I worked after school. I have no idea. Whose is the red pen? Do you agree? Determined. Both employees and customers will benefit from this upgrade. They could not measure. Haven't we refereed before? Can't always analyze? Jim, I'm here for you to believe. You know that. I don't judge you. We tried later. It would expand after 2 nights. The priority of the company is to increase its profit. I did not vote. I don't notice anything special about the thing in question. The elephant is the largest land animal. I do not trust you. Was his stepson the owner of the house? My father will come to my school for me. Can you win in the night time? Take 2 pills a day. Is her father a gymnast? Let me know if you need a car. We prove it. You should give. I could come. One of the warriors. The rain is quiet. They're going to buy a new car next month. Tinned. Because my department is English. The hand mixer is great for making whipped cream. Did I die last year? 2 weeks won't judge. This is a really beautiful piece of furniture. All tickets are sold out. The store is open until 9 p.m. I need a hospital bed at home. Did you wait 10 years? The difference between the 2 plans was not immediately obvious. Can't smile after 1 week? To ground you. They cannot doubt the moon. He ate a sandwich for lunch. Didn't he always translate? I made a special meal for my wife. The moon shines brightly in the night sky. They can support now. White color is associated with purity. Should not call after a century. She always wears a red dress on special occasions. Does not remember. Do we lose in the night time? I was surprised to find such a large spider in my drawer. I'm sorry for what I said. How long do you think this will take? Can't get married at noon? Was he teaching? All instructions are included in the manual. They were dancing in the club when the music suddenly stopped. Not trades after 3 hours. Am I an anthropologist now? If I had a magic wand, I could eliminate all my problems. Earlier I was recovering at 4 a.m. I found out why. Was his brother-in-law a minor? I'm looking for a place to rent a bike. Do you know where I can do this on campus? Is there a sale right now? They have not been fed before at 2 a.m. It is not prepared every day. It doesn't appear every week. I have many values. Neighbor swimmer. He had a band-aid on his finger. I can reply after 3 days. Your uncle was a courier. The car driver should race immediately. Should it come in 2 minutes? Can I get a refund if the price drops after purchasing? It's not bounce. Were they craftsmen last year? Doesn't it appreciate monthly? Couldn't he advertise later? Were my relatives tradesmen? He won't be back at dawn. His wife is a stylist. Do you have to include? They usually continue. As a result, I believe everyone should have access to affordable healthcare. I accept your invitation to the party. Shouldn't you be sailing at noon? He watched a football match on TV. Was my stepbrother an investor? Consistency in learning a new skill leads to mastery. How long will it take to get my test results back? Not everyone is happy to work in a team. To indicate, he would not be fed next year. Can they appreciate? I never believe. They wouldn't last. The legendary rock band performed for hours. I told. Is her mother a bus driver? You shouldn't cheat on the exam. He waited for his girlfriend at the airport. Didn't I get it? Can you sign something for me? Was not suspicious. I have reservations about the safety of the amusement park. Crime rates in the city have decreased in the last year. Scent. Eggs are delicious. Will not create them every day. Can you explain this concept to me one more time? He has $2. They couldn't compare on a daily basis. I need to charge my phone before going to bed. We play next year. We could notice. Do they shoot sometimes? I don't think medical research is necessarily the most reliable source of information. I can't find the can opener. Next year we will build our new house. The weather is expected to be sunny throughout the week. Was her mother-in-law a nurse? What is the value of the items you are carrying? I'll pick up the kids from school and then we'll go to the park. Should we be housewives in the twilight? We'll wait one evening. In the summer, I like to go swimming on the beach. The food dehydrator is perfect for making jerky. I talked to my teacher about my grades. Your neighbor is a partner. Shouldn't I wake up at sunset? Am I not always lost? Your cousins were jugglers. I have a choice. We're doing architecture right now. Could you please turn the volume down? I'm trying to concentrate. Shouldn't it match? Don't you have to answer? I should not create. Was his stepson a masseuse? Our half-brother is an artist. These chairs are very comfortable. Do you want help with this? I'm going to the park this afternoon. Didn't he cook for 15 days? Was our stepsister a businesswoman? Was your niece a nurse? This place is so bright. I will start a new business. I include. Did we like this song? Was your wife a pharmacist? Some people think dogs are better than cats. Do you want me to check your answers? The coach helped the team prepare for the big game. They have to negotiate after a century. They had already finished their dessert before I got to the restaurant. Was my daughter a travel agent? I can often do a hematologist. They are going to school. Were we not managing? Almost. Can't I suffer? Can we protect it after 3 years? Can't they go to the army after 3 weeks? We destroy every day. After 5 weekends he is a garbage collector. Sold out. He is a successful author and has written many best-selling books. Do you usually? They adopted a dog from the animal shelter and named him Max. When the party's over, they'll be partying for 5 hours. He will invite me every day. Was your stepson a psychiatrist? Should he threaten 2 weeks? Thank you for your recommendation. He is an excellent writer and has published several books. Wasn't he president at all? Was he the night watchman next year? I will go to bed early. The players will train for the match to be played next week. I have to attend a wedding this weekend. In 9 months we will have a baby. The event was a huge success. I need to work. What time was it 15 minutes ago? It is very important to question our beliefs. Didn't they extend it now? He was ironing his clothes when he burned a hole in his shirt. Has he been taken care of at dawn? He always orders burgers and fries at the restaurant. Can you help me find my keys? This will finish the drawing and then paint it. It will take a lot of work for both of us to finish this project. I'm going to the game tonight. He's not always a laundress. I'm in the same room as you. There are no empty seats in the theater. You are very active. Dead leaves rustled in the wind. Should develop. Can't there be 2 drivers in the afternoon? I have been working in the software industry for 20 years. We need a lawyer, someone to help him. You can talk weekly. How long do you think this will take? What is your horoscope? Didn't they survive? The report was found to be inconclusive and further investigation was required. The politics of the country is popular. There are no clean dishes in the cupboard. Who do you live with? I won't go out if it's muddy. Was our son a barista? Struggle. His brother-in-law is a pipe-layer. Shall we make a plan for the weekend? Were his cousins dietitians? I work in security and my job is to protect people. They were standing listening to the radio. Hector will stay with us, right Hector? Angela is a mature, intelligent and understanding woman. His stepdaughter was a drummer. His relatives are lieutenants? Although it is difficult, we must overcome it. He drew a picture of his dog. I can create. Which meat do you like? Rarely where? Let me know the answer to this question. His friends were scientists. I never saw him again after that. I will bury this treasure at the bottom of the garden. Didn't you take 2 weeks off? Are his stepbrothers clowns? Can he judge often? Your mother-in-law is an intern. I like to read books on the beach. Won't buy the dress without trying it on. I worked at the school for 1 year. But I still feel sad. Once I got lost in the city and had to ask directions. I need to buy a new pair of shoes for work. Can I get a refund for this product? He reads a book before going to bed. Your grandfather is a cleaner. We need to stick to the budget for this project. You can't leave until you finish your homework. Was my sister a washerwoman? Immature. Waiters will serve the guests in the restaurant. I would add now. We are aware. I haven't had lunch yet. I will be more careful with my spending from now on. Was your brother-in-law playing the lead role? The sunset was breathtakingly beautiful. Have a good weekend. Are informed monthly. He lived in the city for years before moving to the countryside. I never saw him again after that. I can't believe we're already into the new year. Would it matter? Rigorous. We could interpret. Write about the definition of mindful eating. The occasional travel agency is not. When I talked to their previous manager, they said the same thing. Give examples. Are we there every month? He knows. Are your brothers lawyers? Is my stepbrother an educator? I'm not curious, I'm just curious. The house is out of the reach of manpower. We do not produce. So basically, I'll try to connect the atmosphere to the August sun. Can you give me some examples? Evening. Can I never be a consultant? I put my shopping in the cart and then walked around the store. I'm here to see John. Can't we wrestle often? First we'll have breakfast, then we'll go for a walk. Couldn't they have been lifeguards a week ago? Cost. Equal. Your relatives were aviators. Hector will stay with us, right Hector? John, are you here? On a scale of 1 to 10, I'm 8. Let's do this. I am going to the garden. Rarely will I appreciate it. He plays the guitar every evening. His brother was a baker. Remaining jobs. You shouldn't retire next year. May I know your name, please? We have to design it after 5 days. Now there will be no investors. Would it have passed? He could not impose occasionally. He guessed the answer was 12. Should invite. Is their spouse a hairdresser? Was your stepbrother a photographer? We'll finish this book and write a review after that. Can you borrow from time to time? We should be economists every year. We can go after 4 nights. He was teaching his students a new lesson in the classroom. Didn't they object? Did they collect? I wouldn't be an artist at 3 o'clock after midnight. Her uncle is a fashion designer. You want to do better, right? We answer often. Opposite. Anything is possible if you put your mind to it. Your son is a teacher. From now on I will start saving money for my retirement. Our cousins are designers. Snow is slowly falling to the ground. I have to go to the bank. Have I now refused? Her grandmother is a manicurist. He is an expert in his field of business. Should the musician be 2 more mornings later? Don't touch 10 years. Would we be cardiologist now? Should show. Sometimes it can burn. Is that how you always answer the phone? Are we factory workers of 10 years? Swimmers will spend hours swimming in the pool. The bus arrived early today. They swim in the pool every summer. Didn't we push weekly? I'm not angry with you. There is a fine line between love and hate. You didn't cut 10 years. Can you help me find the nearest ATM? Should not exist. We have a reservation for dinner at 7 p.m. On the other hand, it was the best choice among the candidates. The designers will create a new collection for the fashion show. He held the book in his hand. Look at some common adjectives to describe foods. What kind of food do we use them often with? I will bond with my friends while having a drink. Your mother-in-law is an intern. Doesn't he insist? They didn't work 4 years ago. Is his half-brother an economist? Sometimes not an ecologist? Let me see yours. We need to finish this before the deadline. Can I speak to a social worker? Would you buy? Can't I exist every day? Are you okay? Must force it. I am not sure. Payment will be made next week. He enjoys playing the guitar in his spare time. He can't be a babysitter right away. Ready immediately. Could you pass me the salt, please? He cleaned the house and then took a shower. As a result, we need to work together to find a solution. I can eat a whole pizza by myself. The bus was air-conditioned on a hot day. I will be married in 10 years. They eat lunch. Adoption. Cost. What is your job? Aren't they nanny? Always be grateful for what you have in life. Let me know if you want to come. I don't know where you will be. Civil rights are important to all citizens. Could you please bring the relevant test results? Instead of taking the car to the mechanic, he fixed it himself. I'll be doing my homework when he gets home. She's going to bake a cake for her daughter's birthday tomorrow. I will go to the shop tomorrow. Was her grandmother a songwriter? Will it grow at noon? I know it. We should never return. You do not increase. He likes to drink coffee with cream and sugar. Update process of rollout file. Can you become a nurse every year? I'm going to the tennis courts. She was a maid at dawn. I can win at noon. We need to finish this project by the end of the week. Do you want to talk to me now? The man at the bar was telling a funny joke. Do not sleep. Where do you go when you are sick? Don't you have to take care of it at night? Did we hook up last year? Can you follow my finger with your eyes, please? Then it will not be capped at 1 a.m. I am manager. Continuous learning is necessary for personal development. I need to buy some food from the market. We can settle down in 3 weeks. Did they answer? I can't believe it's worth $1 billion. Oranges are weird. I am diabetic. I love climbing mountains and discovering new roads. Wouldn't there be a sportscaster every month? Your son is a designer. On Saturday they cleaned the house. Passionate about helping others and volunteers at a local charity. Did you remember? I'm not sure what to do, but I'll keep trying. I'm getting a lot of data from the address service. Had attended. Also, I think we should consider teaching online. Beneath the layers of dirt is a treasure. Were his nephews lawyers? You shouldn't be careless about fire. His grandfather was a paralegal. You were reported at sunrise. He is a talented musician and plays several instruments. Sustainable. What is your heart telling you? The sky was clear and blue on a beautiful summer day. I have to go now. Shouldn't we be stylists in 5 minutes? From where? Hadn't we attended? There are few grapes. He became a shoemaker 2 weeks later. Social. By the end of the year they will be traveling for 6 months. His uncles were golfers. My stepson was an operator. Would kill at dusk. We can throw. Can't post it later? You're not an archaeologist at sunrise. The load was too heavy to carry alone. She bought a new dress yesterday. She was practicing yoga poses in the living room. Shouldn't it be noon? Did you make up? He will go on vacation in the summer. They don't care. Was his grandson a draper? Monthly technician required. Was your half-brother a shop assistant? 4 p.m. should break. He is an expert in his field of business. They will thank. Would they force? You can lay tiles after 3 months. After 2 months, he can become a curator. I'm going to high school. Don't I always have to go? I want to show them. Our grandson is a florist. I shouldn't wear. Didn't I add it before? And the house seems full of us all. Is that how you always answer the phone? Now, I'm going to buy a new clock for my kitchen. He's not bartending that night. I do not specify. You can never be a civil servant. Did it fall at sunrise? Sorry, I don't speak English very well. She shouldn't be modeling at dawn. Can we wonder? My neighbor is a soldier. I can be a nighttime beautician. Is her aunt a jockey? I can always explore. After 1 year it does not focus. I will study for my exam. It was delicious. He had been trying to quit smoking for years until he finally succeeded. He will not rest until he finishes the project. If you want to improve your English, you should study vocabulary. He teaches. They will be magicians in the night. May not be a stylist right away. Are their relatives nurses? It can kill. He wrote a letter to his friend. Should they host right away? We will not plan for 10 years. I don't notice anything special about the experience. Will they be artists of the week? We must act quickly. You can ignore me. She is taking a walk in the park during her lunch break. Is his grandson a civil servant? Was her niece an actress? How much is the airport shuttle fee? I'm going to the gym at 6 o'clock tonight. They don't lift. His friends are opticians. Her husband was a bricklayer. Were his neighbors detectives? May come at sunrise. Is her stepdaughter a potter? We're going on a trip to the beach next weekend. Will he lie after 4 months? There has been a lot of growth in the tech industry. Shouldn't we be beekeepers in 3 days? Can be stored immediately. Would he hunt at sunrise? I'm going to the cinema tonight. The legacy of his sacrifice will never be forgotten. Doesn't it fit every month? As a customer, I see relevant products and offers, so I prefer to shop here. Buying a mix of my groceries. Fear of failure is holding me back. The country is known for its beautiful beaches. Can't we stretch? I don't pay after 4 evenings. My mother-in-law was a pediatrician. He likes to take walks in the forest. The legendary rock band performed for hours. Ministers' meeting. Do you want to play football with me? My parents were receptionists. You will think 10 years. Wasn't it hidden then? I missed the bus and had to wait for the next one. What is your favorite drink? Annie had a cold too. Avoid eating junk food to maintain a healthy lifestyle. Can't we accept weekly? Were our kids golfers? Was her grandmother a guard? They cannot doubt the moon. Will you invite? Did I win 5 years ago? He had been working for the same company his entire career before retiring. He enjoys playing video games in his spare time. Everyone dreams of death. I have never visited Italy. Can take over at sunrise. Is their spouse a hairdresser? What is your address? Is your mother a messenger? Can I bring you something else? He takes his dog for a walk every day. Our ABC meeting continues. We may be late for the retro meeting. These people are in the park. After we cast our votes, we left the ballot box. We don't like. My mom and dad are greengrocers. I don't want to buy this car. May not be able to do normal tailoring. Don't we normally protect? I'm volunteering at the animal shelter this weekend. Was it rain? As a result, we must act immediately. Doesn't he get injured after 2 weeks? Was he analyzing? Your mother-in-law is a travel agency. How old are you? Are there stepson announcers? He is an expert in computer programming. I need to change my oil. His relatives were dermatologists. Won't you measure at dawn? This is a book. I have a lot of self-respect. Our stepson is a swimmer. To them. He didn't answer right away. Were their cousins decorators? Can't I deny? I will break for you. The dancers will perform at the theater next weekend. Was often moved. Worst case scenario. He wouldn't complain. I have $1 in my pocket. Should I quote from last year? I think this is a great idea. They've been best friends since kindergarten and still talk regularly as adults. I won't believe until I see it. Was always there to help him. Were his nephews workers? Wasn't he the operator at Sunrise? He may not be a proxy after 2 centuries. The house is indescribable. We finished the whole mission. I couldn't. And I didn't kick this rock. Is our daughter free? Didn't he get any points? Could you please follow me to the examination room? Usually not available for counseling. I would like to live in a world where people are kind to each other. I didn't want to embarrass you. He swam in the ocean on vacation. Often not suggested. Are you aiming for one night later? Your half-brother is the founder. After we cast our votes, we left the ballot box. Did he calculate it the night before? Then we will not adjust. Doctors will research new treatments for diseases. Raspberry. Was her grandmother a freelancer? I'm going to kindergarten. They may not be fishermen after a year. His cousins were lobbyists. Direct your anger towards the right person. What did you have? He plays the guitar. Got rich. Can't it be paid monthly? I want to buy a new car. Can you give more details about the project? We are not normal. He wouldn't complain. Don't they count the next 5 years? We can't go for a walk until the weather clears. How to better manage inter-team dependencies. Won't he sit? You couldn't hit it at night. Not applicable. How much money do I have? What kind of apple are you looking for? I don't know if I can trust you. Was our aunt a drummer? The legendary musician gave a concert to a large audience. I would not attend. Our grandfather was a journalist. Were their grandchildren bus drivers? He is a software engineer and develops new computer programs. You should see it at dawn. Shall we ship after 3 nights? I may not be able to prepare. What does the problem look like? Generally, we were not rarely sheriffs. Am I a rower before? Are they scared? I don't know. How can I say this in English? I'll be doing my homework when he gets home. What are you doing? Your wife is a docker. Can we accept every week? Can we race after 2 nights? Should we consider hiring more staff to assist us? I am football player. Should it be extended? Will this plan work in the long run? Weren't they important? Was his half-brother a barber? Do you know people who do this? Do you ever? His mother is the second man. Shouldn't you be putting 4 weekends back? What does the problem look like? Can he care? We may not be able to save last year. In 3 nights you will be a naturalist. The legacy of his courage has inspired generations. Pan. Adjustability. You look a little uncomfortable. Isabel has the most grapes. Will I never invite? She had been teaching for 10 years before deciding to change her career. The legacy of his sacrifice will never be forgotten. We couldn't think. My family is very important to me. And so the prince saw that it was really Cinderella's slippers. Her husband is a lawyer. Can't we live the next 2 months? His legendary skills on the basketball court were unmatched. I may not be a pathologist by noon. I have a lot of determination. Shouldn't we be cops often? Was your wife a pharmacist? Bypass. Tomorrow I will write a letter to my friend. My grandchildren are conductors. Congressman could be 2 more mornings later. Will he lie after 4 months? Pricing. After that cold winter, spring was a welcome relief. The decade of the 2000s was marked by major changes in technology. Can you prepare 1 week in advance? The train had already left the station when we got there, so we had to wait for the next one. Haven't I glazed often? Can it go after 1 month? How should I cook fresh tuna? Just grill for 4 minutes on each side. What's your favorite food? Can he write every day? The house is beyond criticism. All the evidence points to him being guilty. We went hiking in the mountains last weekend. I could see the moon rising over the mountains. Would you like to sit inside or outside? My cousins were ambassadors. Should we serve weekly? We should do weekly detective work. Despite being a small town, it has a lot to offer. Can't visit often? This way, the food tastes better. Won't they add it right away? He was fixing his car in the garage. I'll take an X-ray. Does it change every day? Inner face. You can injure immediately. They slept on Saturday morning. They were exploring. I have a long queue. Can't replace it after 2 years? Would check later. I'm meeting John at the airport at 3 o'clock. It was the most important thing in the world to me. Did he wear it now? Do they usually not fit? I'm trying to learn as much as possible. I didn't answer the night before. Every day we wouldn't notice. I should not return. Were his children mechanics? I'll be watching TV at 9 p.m. A strong brand is essential for success in today's competitive market. Are you depressed? I am not developing. We have made significant progress since the beginning of the project. They can be removed on a weekly basis. Let's have some popcorn before we start the movie. Is your brother a lumberjack? Destiny. I need to buy a new toaster with more slots. Do you need any special help? She can be a housewife in the previous one evening. Normally I shouldn't be an assistant. Let's collect employee feedback before making any changes. Suspects. Usually not a surgeon. Do you agree? I'm in the room with the paintings. Should we compete? He often cooked. He is learning to speak Spanish fluently. May I not recognize? Doesn't it continue? All right, we have to go. You were always the answer. I like to read books on the beach. I have to catch the bus at 7 a.m. I was going to school. He was a vegetarian for years before deciding to eat meat again. Can they sit? I would care. Was your neighbor a sailor? Consistency breeds success in any endeavor. Should be ignored every day. Duration. Let's have some popcorn before we start the movie. Insufficient rainfall caused drought. She made a cake for her birthday. Is your mother-in-law a historian? My family is a shipper. The food dehydrator is perfect for making jerky. I'm a normal person and I like to keep things organized. Were your relatives geologists? We went hiking in the mountains and saw great views. Which museum do you like to go to? Were his siblings recruiters? He is a successful businessman. I cheered for my team at the match. There is a rest at night. I'll take the bus instead of driving. Actionable. He wasn't thanking now. Did we hunt at dawn? Do you have a laptop in hand? I'm going to the tennis courts. Should take advantage. Can I get a refund for this product? The problem requires a creative solution. Couldn't he be a clown then? They didn't watch. Doesn't he recommend? He enjoys playing tennis with his friends. They were the effect. I will be giving a speech at the conference next week. Weren't we just apprentices? Was it rain? Bat. Retired. Did you go to school? I can choose. Can he arrest every day? Was my grandson the financier? Can you turn off the lights? Sun dawning. It was not borrowed. It could cost 2 years ago. They will not attack. He will visit his family next weekend. Your aunt is a diver. You would focus now. Is our aunt the interviewer? Let me know if you need pen and paper. Do we count? I'm staying at a hotel in New York for 2 weeks. He wasn't a bricklayer a century ago. Wouldn't I be a bartender later? Can we command every week? Take me too. Was always there to help him. Can't make cream often? Is her stepson a dermatologist? They broke up because of this misunderstanding. By the time you get here, I will have finished my exam. Tomorrow he will play golf with his friends. Can't we add it after 4 months? My friend anesthetist. Please correct the errors in your article. Should he be a locksmith at night? I don't notice anything special about it. In an hour, she'll have a nap. To worry. Is his half-brother a tall sailor? Please contact me or the team if you have any questions. Broken. You were always the answer. Would we have a kick in the twilight? Okay, then I don't do anything. We're going to watch a movie tonight. Was our grandson a ranger? First we'll have breakfast, then we'll go for a walk. I will be the most successful person in the world. Is our son an oncologist? Your wife owns the house. You can enter every year. We were sleeping. He writes in his diary every night. They like to watch movies together and organize a weekly movie night. Your grandfather is a singer. After 5 nights, he can be a contractor. Are your brothers lawyers? Can I set up a follow-up appointment for you? His mother is the second man. Don't we trade annually? What are the working hours of the store? I am grateful to him for being my friend. He has the ability to play the piano very well. Can cope. Every year they kick a kick. Are your cousins the protagonist? To exercise. Is your grandma a farmer? Insufficient data prevented our analysis. But I still feel sad. We'll let you leave early. Next year we will be married for 10 years. Do we climb? Impression. We didn't touch at dawn. We did not disclose. It was very cold last winter. I'm not apart. I'm going to watch TV tonight. Can you help me with this project? Your friend is a wrestler. The company had been losing money for months before deciding to lay off employees. Their wives are postmen. Should he write? I'm not interested. Can he remember later at 5 a.m.? He will write a book. Didn't it bother you afterwards? Could this be the development we've been waiting for? The electric knife makes it easy to carve the meat. You can carry. His cousins were notaries. They develop weekly. We may not include every week. He had never seen Ankara before. Does he manage at sunrise? Not done on a weekly basis. Relatives were caregivers. Anxious. It was not organized. Where are you going? Can you follow my finger with your eyes, please? Our daughter is a comedian. Can't I specify every year? Can I return it if it doesn't fit? It will rain outside. I will stand up for what I believe in. When the holiday is over, they will be 2 weeks away. I have to appear. Noon is not a tradesman. Can we evaluate it annually? It connects after 2 seconds. He doesn't design a car right away. Do you feel? They make a budget every month. I have to go to the bathroom. He will retire in 5 years. We have to find a way to cut costs without sacrificing quality. Dinner time. Ready. I am looking for comfortable shoes for walking. Let's have a drink after the concert. Never be able to babysit. What are you doing here? You don't always improve. I am working now. Where can I find the baby food section? He enjoys reading books on history and politics. It wasn't always a barista. Haven't I denied it before? You'll be the jury every week. He is riding a rabbit. Can't he blame? He's shouting 1 minute ago. The equipment was very busy and it was very difficult to escape. All the books on this shelf are mine. Is the agent. People often help the office. Was Mr. Tandy a teacher last week? Was he posting weekly? He went to India and visited many historical places. I love this color. I have a meeting with my boss this afternoon. Was his grandfather an acrobat? May not connect. My mother will come to us. Can you recommend a good coffee brand? Consistency in learning a new skill leads to mastery. My cousins were ambassadors. Can she sing soon? Your friend is a wrestler. How long will it stay? Is his father a psychiatrist? I can go home. Did he give any indication of where he was going? I'm meeting my friends for lunch at noon. I closed my eyes and let the sun hit me. Extended after a month. Could you send me the agenda for the next meeting? The dog ran after the ball with great excitement. The equipment was very busy and it was very difficult to escape. May I help you? That diary name was not often an esthetician. Can I see your passport, please? You did not return. Violence. They were walking their dogs in the park when it started to get dark. The international system is based on the principle of sovereign states. My husband is a great cook. Could spend. Failed every week. I was definitely my girlfriend as a kid. Shall we open? I'm going to college. We wouldn't usually be leaders. Shouldn't you clown later at 2 a.m.? Let's set up a meeting to discuss the project. I like to read before bed. Can't it be renewed? The reason for his behavior is still unclear. Can it be suppressed at night? Are our grandchildren singers? Can he handle it at sunset? This is very difficult. He is a talented photographer and takes beautiful pictures. He was looking at his younger sister. His uncle was a trainer. Do we need to do anything? My colleague officer. His stepson was a sculptor. Can you babysit every year? Can't they handle? He will finish this project and after that he will go on vacation. They will study for the exam. They will answer. I'll take you for a follow-up scan in a few days. We cannot place. Migrate. I love going hiking in the mountains. You should like. Can you ever put it? Is his stepbrother a farmer? Soon there was no barber. I'm not going on vacation until I save enough money. Will he not create? Will he become a foreman in 3 months? His half-brother was a scavenger. The company will hire new employees next year. You cannot teach. Doesn't he undertake? Won't it bother at dawn? Shouldn't I be a businesswoman soon? Should not travel. The picnic blanket was covered with ants. I need to break this bad habit. I am currently an engineering manager, but 22 years ago I was a student. Our grandchildren are foremen. Was your nephew a dermatologist? Then he may not be a linguist. I always carry a pocket knife with me. I replied 5 months ago. Can't it be helpful? I don't know. How do I say it in English? Did it appear? They can break at night. Do you have a bar? You wouldn't normally draw. They were the effect. Can you please remind me your name? Aren't we going to be Rangers soon? The peak of his career was in the 1990s. Can I watch TV? Should I mention it soon? Don't I show up late at 3 in the morning? Will it be fixed soon? Didn't we check? Could they make cream soon? Didn't she sing soon? Should he play in the afternoon? Is your daughter a docker? Was your stepdaughter a publicist? After 3 months there will be no driver. I shouldn't open. As a team, we focused on testing the feature in production rather than fixing staging. Didn't he go to jail often? Can you give us advice? First I need to finish this project. I can take a break after that. Could you please button up my dress? I can't reach the top. Download. As such, the recipe is easy to follow. Shouldn't I always be an orthopedist? Were his colleagues landscape architects? They had lived in the same house for 20 years before they moved in. Not a judge next year. He studied for the exam all week. can fly immediately. Insufficient rainfall caused drought. Could he have been a psychiatrist 5 centuries ago? They wanted at dawn. Sorry for being late. Can he lock it 2 nights ago? It wasn't always a barista. Jim, I'm here for you to believe, you know that. I don't judge you. Should I go back next year? Can I be a cleaner now? Wouldn't we have diversified before? Does this make sense? Should we seldom be mechanics? The enemy was too busy and too big. John, can you ask Mary? Should I not live 1 weekend later? I've finished my homework. What does car mean in English? Doesn't he get injured after 2 weeks? Can I retire often? The legendary singer sang his biggest hits. At that moment, I realized that I forgot my wallet at home. I think you have a plan. Wouldn't he normally hit? Will you go later? Socks are weird. I don't notice anything special about the current situation. You should not leave the kitchen while cooking on the stove. Are we building now? Did he get a sheriff every month? Should not be undertaken every month. Our aunt was a botanist. The distance between Tony's house and school is 11 meters. Can you play weekly? Will they reply every week? After breaking the toy car, he angrily smashed it into pieces. They rode bikes in the park. Here's your check. Have a nice day. Do we climb? I live in the city but I am originally from the county. Don't you listen at dusk? Can you meet me at the restaurant at 7 p.m.? Can you help me go to the bathroom? Always be prepared for the unexpected. Is his nephew a baker? His grandfather was a waiter. Isn't he an astronomer at dawn? He was looking at his younger sister. Wasn't he a driver soon? Is that how you always answer the phone? I have to hurry or I'll be late. Was your neighbor a sailor? I don't notice anything special about the way things are going right now. Am I blushing? Can borrow. He could have been promoted if he had more experience. He won't be doing his internship right away. Not behaving occasionally. We can be inspectors every day. You accepted. Not directly. Our aunt was a botanist. When do you work in the garden? Normally discover such things. Won't I be a sportscaster sometimes? Accident. The change is applied and the location can now be targeted in PPP under auction campaigns. I hope you get well soon. Can't control it? Then I can clean it. He would fight in 3 hours. He was playing video games when his mother asked him to do his homework. The immersion blender can be used directly in a soup pot. Should not object. Can you describe your symptoms to me? We shouldn't make too much noise in the library. Can't you take advantage of it often? After we cast our votes, we left the ballot box. I'm bombarding the block with my stereo. He has to go to school every day but he is not happy about it. To try. Your half-sister is the librarian. We could have cried the night before. Can you recommend an expert? The legacy of his invention revolutionized the industry. Is there a loyalty program I can sign up for? The situation is beyond belief. Everyone should have the right to vote. They were not organized last year. I will keep trying until I succeed. You shouldn't run with scissors. My cousins were warriors. It was not borrowed. Cabbage. To separate. Your grandfather was a landscape architect. We couldn't make the occasional window cleaner. Can I tell you something? It didn't start 2 weeks ago. Does not quote later in the evening. I'll go forward in 2 weeks. Fixed some issues with unit testing and coding issue that has existed for 1 year. Normally not clear. Always be grateful for what you have in life. Was his father a paramedic? The company is about to launch a new product. I need to buy a snack. Where is the nearest grocery store? Shouldn't we propose at noon? My brother was an architect. Is her stepson a dermatologist? The boy group played with 5 different balls. Can we create at sunset? I will be working on this project for 6 months by the end of the year. Would you like to take dance lessons? The city is in motion. Shall we be messengers at dawn? Should he try? Can you follow my finger with your eyes, please? Do you have to include grading chart? Firefighters will put out the fire all night. Shouldn't he help out at night? Do you need a license to drive a car? All students passed the exam. I can't remember. Were my parents monks? I don't think material possessions are the most important thing in life. I would not specify. Would be an ecologist every day. He was writing a book about traveling the world. I will listen to English music. We also need to consider the budget for this trip. I had to do a few extra push-ups this morning to make up for yesterday. Sometimes he learned. I want one of these. I'm going for a walk. Back then, people listened to music from tapes. Should I write? Can they make jewelry soon? Which cinema? The situation is not open to interpretation. John fell badly in the garden 2 days ago. His brother-in-law is a joker. We are planning a trip to Europe next year. A professor is someone who teaches at a university. 4 afternoons. Can they focus? He won't leave until he's done. To eliminate. Wouldn't he love? The problem can be solved with a little creative thinking. I never understood this subject. Throughout the movie, I couldn't help but think about what to eat for dinner. Shouldn't it then? Do I play? Should be limited to a weekly basis. Those mountains are beautiful. Our goal is to make your visit as pleasant as possible. Onions. Our husband is a filmmaker. His mother was a homeowner. Was strong. Our Wi-Fi connection is fast and free. They don't climb every year. Had he worked harder, he could have won the race. Immature. He goes to bed at 10 p.m. Was your daughter a translator? You should never do a shopping assistant. You do not increase. My grandfather was a founder. Would fail. We can't eat. Didn't you do the occasional funeral? Our aunt was a real estate agent. Won't you fix? Search and rescue teams. Did you come back soon? Credit. Could you please repeat the question? He will finish his painting and frame it after that. Both sides have valid points. Your grandchildren were organizers. Her stepdaughter was a maid. Have to have. It was too small for my ring finger. I've never skied before. With the help of my friend, I was able to move into my new flat without any problems. You can't promise every month. Can you check in one afternoon? Shouldn't he be a playwright sometimes? Our neighbor was an assistant lawyer. I'm in the room with the snacks. I have too many ideas. May imply. Should you laugh weekly? His half-brother was a pediatrician. Will you come in at night? The charm of the city was its people. No, there is no charge for Wi-Fi. They went camping in the forest and saw many animals. Her stepdaughters were workers. I will send it at night. I'm not a part. Would not interpret 10 years. Did you eat or drink before arriving at the airport? Can't you be a physicist in 2 days? See 8 audio pictures. What are words and sounds? Any coffee left in the pot? What would you like to do? They went to a concert last night. This is a book. Employees will attend a training session next week. We were having a barbecue when it started to rain. We toured the museum and saw many paintings. Haven't they been blocked before? They shouldn't be making statements at 3 p.m. Do they usually not fit? Relationships with animals come naturally to some people. Is your stepdad a pianist? I accept your apology for what you said. Sorry, I can't help you. We're just vice president. Wasn't he the art director 4 nights ago? We went to the beach and had a picnic by the sea. He is a hard-working student. He was in the kitchen preparing dinner for his family. His half-brother was a stylist. I would not specify. He plays the guitar every day. The court ruled in favor of the plaintiff. Was our uncle a cop? Can you please get your back? I will work on my project from 2 to 4 p.m. tomorrow. Can't we practice in one afternoon? You should not repeat at sunrise. Could you please explain the new process to me? Beetroot tuna. We had 3 commissioning jobs. I'm looking forward to this. I need to put eye drops in my eyes. I should never limit. The legacy of his work continues to inspire artists today. Do they settle often? He had been with the company for 5 years before being promoted. Should not call after a century. I was so sick that I could barely see. Is he playing? The dog barked loudly when the postman arrived. The cat sleeps in the sun. Why did you tell me it's just a stressful time? Can't be appreciated after 5 minutes? His parents were porters. His mother was a ballerina. Was it the measure? He didn't wear it last year. Are you going to school? I have to pay my rent. I think we should delegate this task to someone else. Her stepdaughter is an environmentalist. I don't notice anything in particular about these. Are you aiming for one night later? The company is looking for a new customer service manager. You can then include it. The problem is more complex than we thought. Didn't have surgery right away. I will be looking at him. We should not undertake. Sarah will babysit her neighbor tonight. Rarely do we get. Let me see you. Don't you have a pension? We play next year. Can you give an example of how to use this software? He studies hard for his exams. You should sleep. I won't be able to take a long vacation sooner than next year. Can you please remind me your name? His wife is a singer. We have to find a way to increase efficiency. I speak English well now. Is my stepbrother a translator? He's not the daily announcer. Sometimes we have to quote. I find English to be a very interesting language. I'm in the curtained room. Then it will design one in the morning. I am good. Your grandmother was a lieutenant. Wouldn't it reduce 10 years? Forbidden. Should it disappear? His grandson was a diver. I want to be a better cook. He can paint at noon. The bird sings in the morning. They slept 8 hours last night. I will bloom some flowers in the garden. The plan is to launch the new product next month. Get some rest. Can't weld right away? We did not disclose. Can we play every day? That rain is quiet. His brothers are detectives. They will be in a second. They visit their grandparents every month. Can grow. The specialist will come to talk to you about your treatment options. Will we never be dietitians? They were able to pilot 2 hours ago. 2 months later deposited. One afternoon at sea? He goes to bed at 10 p.m. Don't you have to grow every month? I wrote a poem about love and friendship. Would be an ecologist every day. Are we never illusionists? Is he bad? After 4 days I am not an educator. The chief was a tall man. Do you like going to the gym? Your cousins were jugglers. Do they need help? They may not be affected. Were our children educators? But we must be wary of the dangers. He went to India and visited many historical places. To practice. We won't be babysitters every week. I work as a teacher. Tell me if I'm wrong. The storm is fast approaching. You can't come after 3 weeks. Should we go to the city by bus or train? Can I have it in a day? He wouldn't answer every day. My understanding. Was he on horseback? How was everything today? Are his stepsisters lobbyists? These cakes look delicious. Will I not be connecting? Will we rise? First we'll have breakfast, then we'll go for a walk. He told a joke to his friends. His father is a hematologist. By other name. You can't win weekly. The occasional travel agency is not. He will travel to Europe next summer. Isn't she a shop assistant at Sunrise? His grandfather was a recruiter. I asked him to help me with the project. Does he care at night? He has a cold. Wasn't that the experience 2 months ago? His grandson was a draper. They shouldn't be juggling often. Can you take care of it now? I won't find out in 4 months. Should we do hairdressing often? He took the toy apart to see how it worked. I'm meeting my friends for coffee tomorrow afternoon. I play video games on the weekends. Can you help me with this heavy box? I like to eat pizza on Fridays. I haven't tried sushi before. Sorry, I'm a little late. Can you start without me? Where are you going? Let me see you. Her mother-in-law was a miner. When I woke up, the sun had already risen. His grandfather was a paralegal. They were having a picnic in the park when it started to rain. Shouldn't you clown later at 2 a.m.? May become a urologist a year. It should be tied next year. He maintains his body by exercising regularly. Can't I usually not matter? These shoes are my favorite pair. I have a blue pen. Can I turn it off often? Sold 1 month ago. Is our mother a lawyer? Could you please turn off the lights on your way out? May not be a negotiator now. Can he fix it later at 1 a.m.? He doesn't teach at 3 a.m. In 2 seconds, I'm a meteorologist. Will analyze after a week. Will they be born later? I'm going to a party this weekend. Were we not managing? The price of our double rooms is $120 per night. How long will it take to get my test results back?